Welcome flight simmers! Today we are gonna try to do something extraordinary. A vertical takeoff from Innsbruck with the Airbus A320 from iniBuilds, fly-by-wire and the Fenix one. Or the Fenix 2 I should say. So stay tuned and let's just get right into it. Alright, here we are at Innsbruck in Austria. The first thing I'm going to do is to take a look at the EFB, and I already loaded my flight plan. It's a simple one from Innsbruck to Innsbruck, and I already applied the payload. We have about 6 tons of fuel and 0 passengers, 0 cargo, and this gives us a gross weight of around 48 tons. And to calculate the takeoff performance, I'm gonna select the runway 08. No, it's 26. Yeah, 26. Let's just sync the weather. I'm gonna leave it like this, except for the altimeter setting to 1013. I'm not using live weather. You're gonna see in a second why. We have a weight of, let's say, 48,000 kilos. I'm gonna select config 3 for takeoff. We can leave everything else like this. We have a V1 of 126, VR 126 and V2 of 128. So now comes the exciting part. I'm gonna change the weather. I'm gonna use this wind layer, remove the gust, set the wind to the runway heading 257 and enter a wind speed of 140 knots. Alright, now I'm gonna select flaps 3. There are some specific things that needs to be done in this exact way, like flaps 3. I already tried flaps 1, 2 and flaps full, and I think the sweet spot was at flaps 3. So parking brake is set, flaps 3 is set. I'm gonna disarm the spoilers and just give a little bit of thrust, or actually let's just do the thrust lever to climb already. We are gonna hear a lot of alarms and warnings, but this shouldn't be any of our business right now for this experiment. So alright, now we are at climb thrust. Alright, so the thing that needs to be done is you just need to pull the side stick a little bit up until you reach a point where the plane elevates, and that's it. Here we are, the vertical takeoff with the iniBuilds A320neo. So yeah, I chose Innsbruck obviously because of this beautiful location. And like I said earlier, I didn't use live weather because we need to use the 140 knots wind for us to take off. Okay, back to the cockpit. Let's just get rid of all the alarms. You know what? Let's just try to land this thing. Landing in this case will be very, very difficult. I tried it like 20-30 times. It's not easy. You cannot control the wind. You barely can control the plane. Let's just give a little bit of thrust. Actually, let's do toga for a second. let's see if we can actually move forward. So one thing that I noticed is as soon as you reach a certain height, the wind speed turns from 140 knots to about 250. Let's just do it like this. Try to flare, remove the thrust, and yeah, this might work. This was very nice. I don't need any reverse thrust. Yeah, that's it. Nice. This one worked out. So this was the iniBuilds A320 V2, and let's switch to the next one, the fly-by-wire A320neo. Alright, we're back in the cockpit now in the fly-by-wire A320neo. Gross weight of 48 tons, flaps 3, spoilers disarmed, and wind direction 257 with 140 knots and no gusts. So, same as before, thrust levers to climb, wait for the engines to spool up, and then pull on the side stick. And this was definitely much easier as before. Just imagine yourself sitting in an airplane that just takes off vertically. Would be nice. Maybe in a couple of decades. Could be possible. Who knows? So now in order for me to actually accelerate and move forward, I think I'm gonna need more thrust, and I might need to put the flaps to 0. Let's just see if this works out. We are actually not moving forward, and we are gonna get the first overspeed warnings. We're not even climbing, we are descending. Yeah, obviously, because the nose is pitching down. Let's pitch up a little bit, get a little bit of lift. So this is what I mentioned before. The winds are now at 255 knots. I don't know why, but the first wind layer, I think, should be until 1000 feet. Anyway, maybe we could even land this thing. Let's just try to land this airplane.
2,500.
This would be very hard.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Don't sink. Pull up, don't sink. Pull up, don't sink. Pull up,
Nah,
don't sink.
this is not gonna
Pull
work.
Up, don't sink. Too low terrain. Don't sink.
At
Too
least
low
not on the
terrain.
runway.
Don't sink. Too low terrain. Don't sink. Too low terrain.
Or
Don't
maybe
sink. Too low terrain. Don't sink.
let's just
Too low terrain.
not give
Don't
up
sink.
already.
Too low terrain. Don't sink. Too low terrain. Don't sink. Too low terrain. Don't sink. Too low terrain.
Retard.
Nah, this is a crash.
Pull up.
This is definitely a crash.
Retard.
Alright, now we are in the Fenix A320, same setup as before, 48 tons of takeoff weight, and spoilers disarmed, flaps 3, everything set up, wind direction and wind speeds, no gusts. Let's just set the levers to climb. Actually, let me do a flex one this time. I think the engines of the A320 are much weaker than the Neo ones. Anyway, let's just pull on the side stick and take off. This looks fine, but I need a positive climb. Here we are, positive rates. Let's just put the gear up and get rid of all the alarms. This is amazing. Yeah, so with this aircraft it's really difficult to do some unrealistic stuff. We have a couple of warnings of real hot exhaust gas temperatures. You can even see the exhaust gas coming up front. I think landing this thing is almost impossible. Yeah, alright. This is not gonna work. Full thrust, auto throttle off. I mean, not even the engines are working anymore. I think engine number 2 just gave up. Maybe both gave up, they're not spooling up, so yeah, I think landing with this thing is impossible, at least not for a vertical takeoff. And we're going down. Alright, let's just get to the last one. Alright, now to my favorite, the A320neo by Headwind Simulations. I mean, look at this beauty. This is so beautiful and nice. We even have cargo and a payload today. So I prepared the aircraft to take off normally. I already told you I had a flight plan from Innsbruck to Innsbruck. So why not just do that in these windy conditions? With the exception that we have a vertical takeoff instead of a normal one. So let's just get right into it and give full thrust, release the parking brake. We can already take off because we already reached our V1 speed. Gear is coming up all by itself. Let's just put the flaps down a little bit. Let's just get rid of the alarm first. Alright, now we are airborne and no alarms or anything. Let's just put the lever to climb, activate the autopilot, and just let it do its thing. I mean, climbing to flight level 210. Okay, we reached 10,000 feet. Let's just turn off the lights. Like I said, normal procedures. The only exception is that we're not moving. We're just climbing vertically. And it's actually working. Now the airplane accelerates to climb speed, and then we are gonna gain some altitude. Look at these wings. For an unknown reason, there seems to be some gusts in the area, but even though I did turn them off, I mean, this doesn't look like normal wind. Right, so we reached our cruising altitude of flight level 210. There seems to be some gusts, even though I did turn them off. This is strange. Anyway, I think we're not gonna land with this aircraft. I think this would be very difficult to do. We will have only one direction at which we can land, because you don't want to have 140 knots of crosswind during landing, not even during flight, I think. And if the wind is coming from the other direction, from behind the aircraft, then we will lose all our lift, I guess. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to subscribe, comment if you have any other ideas. I mean, there are tons of ideas. Thank you for watching and see ya.